Last year, I made a Create This Book episode to celebrate my birthday. And on that episode, I came up with this little character that I want to bring to life today by making him 3D. For that, I am going to use one of these plastic lucky cats that, if you're not new to my channel, you've seen me paint before, and I really love it. If you're new, welcome to the channel. My name is Paula, and let's get creative. So here's the lucky cat I'm using today. It's the biggest one I've ever gotten. Here's the one I have sitting on my shelves right now. I made him on my third YouTube video, I think. Oh my god. Anyhow, you can see the size difference. I'm so excited about this, so let's get it primed with this universal primer because it helps me to see it in one solid color, and I think also this will help the clay that I'm using to transform it to stick better. Primed and ready, and here is my drawing. I'm going to use foam clay for this transformation because I don't want it to become too heavy, and I also think foam clay will make it more cartoon-like, like my original drawing. My first idea was to keep the ears of the cat, just adding a lion's mane around the head, but the ears are so different from the ones I made on my lion that I thought it best to just cover them up and have the ears sort of be like the structure that's gonna hold this very large amount of hair underneath. I did decide to add a little bit of white glue in between the cat and the foam just to make extra sure that the clay would hold. But I'm not even sure this is a really necessary step with foam clay on plastic. It really sticks to it. I kept adding some clay, and another thing that I hadn't figured out before starting was that because of the mane, the little arm on the cat wouldn't be able to move anymore. I mean, I'm okay with that. I was okay with that, but oh my, was this cat looking weird. I mean, honestly, at this point, it looks like Beethoven. Also, my dog had climbed on the desk now, and I also felt her criticism too. She just had a face of disapproval that was killing me. I took her off the desk and I turned my camera off while I was doing it. And the reason I got her off the desk just was because I didn't want her hair going into the clay. But I forgot to turn my camera on again immediately, so I missed filming a little bit of footage where I put more clay on it. I decided to cover the eyes with clay just because they were throwing me off a little bit on the proportions, and I needed confidence on the transformation I was creating. With that clay, I started to model the face, mixing the existing features with the clay I put on top. And I left that to dry a bit as I modeled all of the hair. When I finished making the lion's mane, I actually decided to cover the whole face with clay and then just have the original cat face underneath acting as a structure on top of which I was creating. And I think it definitely looks better and more proportioned to what I wanted my lion to be. And of course, when I started modeling, having that structure underneath made it super easy to create the face. So here's the front finished. I think it looks really nice. I used the back of clay to support the lion as I finished its lips and made everything just a little bit cleaner. You know, I'm not the best with clay, so I was just trying my best. At this point, I thought it was time to add the cat's new ears that match my drawing, so now it has small, round, cute, and tiny ears that look very, very fluffy. Okay, now the front is done, but look at the back. That's horrible. What does the back of a lion's head look like? I found some reference pictures and the mane goes all the way down. Because of that, I added a lot of clay to the back, just covered everything and tried to design the hair in a way that matched the front. I couldn't really have it down the back as much because my little character has fairy wings on him, but I still had to model a lot of hair. I was actually so stressed about the back because I hadn't planned it or thought about how the back was gonna look. But when I was done with it, I thought it looked pretty okay. I mean, it looked nice and I was happy with it. Now to model the wings. For that, I cut my clay in almost equal parts. The wings I drew for some reason were 3-parted. So for both wings, I created 4 little small balls of clay and 2 large ones. I rolled them into a teardrop shape and pushed them all together. Then I used my little tools to flatten them a bit, creating rounded edges. I used a little styrofoam ball that I found in my clay tool drawer to do the larger part since I didn't have a tool for that. Wings were ready, so I went ahead and added glue to the back of my cat for them to stick better. And I guess I should not call him a cat anymore. This is definitely now a lion. I also needed to change the tail, so I rolled some clay for it and created the hair at the top of the tail as well. It looks like a little fire emoji. When I attached the lion's tail, I noticed it was going to be really hard to paint everything on its body, and it was gonna give me a lot of trouble. So I decided to take the wings off, let them dry separately, and put them together once they were painted and dry. I had to remake the tail too because it was looking wonky, so I started from scratch. I had a bunch of leftover clay on the back from removing the wings and the tail, and I did try to scrape it, but it definitely left some texture on my piece. A whole day later and my lion is completely dried. I chose to spray it with another layer of primer. I thought this would make the whole surface even and easier to paint. Time to mix the main color for the lion. I mixed a large cup so I wouldn't risk running out of paint in case I needed to do corrections, which of course I did. As soon as I touched it with my brush, I know this is going to take more than one layer. So here we go, first layer. Second layer on, and when the second one was dry, I thought it was looking way too dark. So I changed the color a little bit and I applied the third layer. Looking better, but again, it dried too dark. So for the fourth layer, I made it even lighter. And I think that was the perfect color for the lion, and here it is. It's starting to look great. I got very excited at this point, so I started to work on details like adding his rosy cheeks and ears. I added a little bit more paint to the face to make the blending nicer. And I also added those lighter features on the face like the ones I have on my drawing. The face fur was done, and now I had to prepare the colors for the mane. And I wanted to show you that I'm using a lot of this paint that came from the Nerdy Crafters Pour Kit, the Figure It Out kit. I finished all of my bears from the kit, and I actually painted a large cat just like this one with the pouring technique, and I still have so much paint left, and it's amazing quality. I also use the supplies from the kit all of the time. Like today, I'm using the brushes and the silicone cups, and I always find myself using the silicone tray for blending and the plastic to protect surfaces. So great to have so much materials left over after I already enjoyed that kit thoroughly. And if you haven't seen that video, go watch it. It's a fun one to watch. I'll link it in the description. Okay, so now I have my colors ready and it was time to have so much fun painting this rainbow mane.
So go and cry about it. So go and tell everybody that you like about it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So go and cry about it. Yeah. Go and tell everybody that you like about it. Yeah. You interest me. Yeah. Babe. You interest me. Oh no. You interest me. You interest.
I enjoyed every second of painting that. It was so much fun. And even though I did stain the body all over, I loved it. I painted the original lucky coin with the baby blue. You're gonna see why in a little while. And I also fixed all of the stains that I made on my lion, and the mistakes I just made, painting. Just a little polishing with the brown paint. I painted the wings with pink and added the details by drawing on them with my paint markers. Okay, so now it was time to paint the features of the face. And this part was making me really nervous because I knew it needed to be precise. I'm using black paint. That's why I'm having a stack of notebooks holding the lion in an angle that made it easier for me. As soon as the smile and the nose were on, I felt so happy because I could recognize it already. So then I painted his eyes, and I could only do one on camera because I needed to get very, very close to be able to get symmetry. But here it is, here's the face, so now it's time to put everything together. I covered the wings with some glitter glue to have the same glitter from the illustration, and while those dried, I remember I needed to create a little birthday hat for the lion. So I added a little bit of black paint to some blue foam clay that I had left over from something, and I created that cone. I needed to cut it in half because I couldn't attach it as a whole to the head, like it wasn't looking right. Then I used all of these super glittery foam sheets that I got at my local craft store to cut a bunch of little hearts to make all of the floating hearts from the original illustration. When I created my lion, the original concept was that it's a mythical creature that visits you on your birthday and he brings joy and love to you. I wanted to have his paw up on that drawing, having him like throwing the hearts, but I couldn't make it look right, so I gave up. But now the paw from the lucky cat works perfectly. I glued a lot of the hearts on top of the coin because I'm going to make this look like a little transparent bag that he's carrying with all of the hearts in there. I used the same technique on a cat I painted inspired by Moriah Elizabeth's art, which I actually sent to her. I don't know if she got it, but I sent it to her. I hope she did get it. Anyhow, after having all of the hearts on there, I brought in a piece of a plastic bag, which I tied with a cute ribbon, and I glued that on there so it looks like he's holding it with his paw and carrying all of those hearts. After that, it was time to glue the little birthday hat on which I already painted spots with paint markers and glitter glue. And I also added a pom-pom on top. I did not have a pink pom-pom, sadly, but I thought the baby blue looked nice as well. Finally, I attached his fairy wings, and here it is! My cute lion that I designed as a mythical creature that brings you love and happiness on your birthday especially. I am obsessed with it. I think he came out so cute. I absolutely love it. Love it. But I can't wait to see what you think about it. So let me know in the comments, and let me know if you want to see more Lucky Cat transformations or more of my characters coming to life. Thank you for joining me once again today, and I hope I'll see you on the next one. Have the most beautiful day. Bye.